Hey there guys, it's James here, and today I'm going to be doing a short review for you for a shoe that I've been wearing quite a lot recently, and that is the Altra Torin 3.5 Mesh Edition. So I do a lot of my running on the trail, on muddy paths, on rocky areas, but especially in the winter, sometimes I'm trying to get those long runs in, or after work I'm just trying to get a couple of miles in, so I'll hit the roads, and this Altra Torin 3.5 has been my go-to shoe for those kind of slower, easier miles on the road. So I'll jump into a little bit about the shoe, a little bit about Altra, and we'll check out some of the features. So the Altra Torin 3.5 is a zero drop shoe, which means it has a 0mm differential from the heel down to the forefoot here, and that's meant to create a more natural kind of foot motion and less strain on the knees, on the hip, on the back. As with all of Altra's shoes, it also has this wide forefoot area, again enabling the toes to spread and to promote a more natural foot motion. Altra Torin 3.5 is marketed as their kind of easy run shoe, as their workhorse for longer workouts, for nice casual pace, and that's what I tend to use it for. I have previously ran in the Altra Torin 2.5. This was my go-to shoe for a long time. I did find that the midsole on these wore down fairly quickly, but other than that, loved them. The main updates in the 3.5 that I've noticed from the 2.5 is we've got this mesh version of the 3.5. It does also come in a knit version as well, but the mesh version, as you can see, got a nice open mesh around the forefoot here, and that runs all the way up the sides of the shoe. That's meant to make it more breathable, keep your foot cooler and more lightweight, and I find that that works quite well. You've got this new material around the back of the shoe here, around the heel, which is kind of like a synthetic kind of nubuck leather. I find that really nice. It's not as big and not as chunky as the heel on the 2.5, and I find that extra kind of, that weight shaved off there is quite good, and I found that quite comfortable. One of the new features again is this large gusseted tongue in the shoe. So rather than just running down the centre of the shoe here, it actually goes into the sides as well. I don't particularly see the use of this in a road shoe. I have lots of trail shoes that have a gusseted tongue to keep out rocks and pebbles, other trail debris. I feel like it just adds a bit of weight in the Torin 3.5. It's not necessarily adding any functionality. So how have I found running in the Altra Torin 3.5? I've found them really good. As I say, if I'm heading out the door for a longer run, these are the shoes I grab straight away. I find them super comfy, with that zero drop and with that wide forefoot. They're really plush, they feel like a slipper when you put them on, and I always feel like my foot is nice and securely held in there without it pinching or nipping anywhere. They are made for longer runs, possibly for slower runs, but they do have this air-bound midsole, which is Altra's kind of special brand of foam, I guess. And I find them quite springy and responsive. I do tend to go on my slower runs in these, but I've done a few kind of speed workouts, I've done a few races in them, and they hold up pretty well. They never feel sluggish or, too chunky and too heavy, so that's good, I guess. The outsole of these is fairly minimal. Obviously, being a road shoe, we don't have deep lugs made for mud, but I have worn these on some gravel tracks, on some dry trails, and they hold up pretty well, but perfect for a road. The Altra Torin 3.5 do come in a couple of different colourways. As I say, there is the mesh version and there is the knit version available too. I'm not a massive fan of this blue and silver, but as I often do, I got my shoes off eBay for a really good price, so I'll put up with those colours for the price I got them. Just to mention, they do have a new updated version of the Altra Torin. I think they have the 4 or the 4.5 now. But on this channel I tend to focus on runners like me who don't always have that income readily available to buy the newest brand, the newest model all the time. So I'm shopping around for good deals, I'm shopping around for shoes and for equipment that still fulfills my needs but on more of a budget. I think you can find these still on sale online at the moment for around £70–80, so you know, you're talking quite a bit cheaper than the newest model for 120, 130. If you are looking for a shoe for your easy runs, for your long runs, you want something comfortable, something that's a workhorse and you can depend on, I'd definitely recommend the Altra Torin 3.5 knit or mesh versions, and really any from the Altra Torin range that you can get your hands on. As always, keep moving forward and I'll see you out on the trails.